Awesome. Yeah. So welcome everybody. Looking forward to going over this awesome information with you here. This is something I presented on actually at the APTA PPS practice. Very well received, very highly attended. Obviously, this is an area that a lot of practice owners are struggling here with right now. And so hopefully from today, you'll have some good insights, things that you can work on in your practice to help move ahead with hiring, obviously recruiting. This is a very competitive market, as you all know, and we'll just talk about here some things that you can do to give yourself a bit of an edge in the marketplace today. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. All right, so let's cover this. So today we all know that recruiting has definitely changed. We're going to also be talking about today how to build your online presence and reputation to attract top talent. And we'll be also looking at something that most people aren't familiar with, which is Google for Jobs. As a practice owner, a lot of other people use it, but as a practice owner, how you can use Google for Jobs, how you can definitely leverage that as a free tool or inexpensive tool, and how to use online advertising to broadening your ability to recruit beyond just our traditional Indeed or Ziprecruiter job boards. And again, we'll be looking at some examples here of what that looks like with other practices, things that are happening in the marketplace. So first off, this is something I really want you to take heart. This is about all today with what we're going over. And that really is, your reputation and your brand is directly correlated to how well you can attract top talent. So if you take one thing away today, is this: how are you building your practice's reputation and brand in your community so that you can really attract the best talent to come work for you? And that's going to help you grow and expand your practice. And this is the thing: the more your brand is well known, the higher the interest is going to be for people wanting to work for you. And that's both professional, whether it's PT, OT, speech, or also admin staff, front desk, office managers, billers, all those kind of people. They are looking for the best place to work for that resonates with them. Here's a little bit of a side note though, right? And this is just a piece of advice from me, having worked in different businesses and things that I've seen over the years, is that as you become more successful in your practice, as you grow, the higher the interest in wanting to work for you, the more you will naturally attract and become a target for problematic staff. And it's just one of those things that happens. It's almost like a natural law. But one of the things here then is that you need to strengthen your interview and your weeding out process. You can't just hire anybody that comes along with a pulse and a license. You really have to have that process in place. The bigger that you get, the more influential that you get in your community, to protect your practice and your group, because we all probably have had a bad hire at some point and it's been detrimental to our staff and also our practice and experience. So just a side note on that. All right, just quickly about me. I'm a licensed PT. I've built and exited a seven-figure PT practice, then spent 15 years, so these last 15 years, as a private practice marketing expert. And I'm excited to announce that here, Practice Promotions, we're actually gonna be celebrating our 15-year anniversary in February. So we're very blessed for that. Very excited. And so we've been able to grow a great digital marketing agency. I have the pleasure of working with an amazing 75 staff and growing. And over this time frame, both my practice and with Practice Promotions, I've hired over 200 employees and interviewed over 500 candidates. So definitely know a lot about the recruiting and hiring space, and made great hires. I've made poor hires. So I'm going to give you my personal perspective on things today as we go through this. Here at Practice Promotions, we're the premier physical therapy and rehabilitation marketing agency in North America. Very proud of that. Love what we're doing to help a lot of clinics around the country, over 1,200 clinics that we work with across the US and Canada. And in 2025, last year, we produced over 1.2 million leads of patients finding clinics. Very excited about that, the impact that we're having in communities, helping them get to the right course of action, which is PTOT speech, and 1.2 billion, therefore, in new patient lead value in that last year too. So super excited about those numbers. All right, so as we get into it today, we cover this with our market to growth strategy. So 3 cornerstones here of what we do for practices: grow, help them profit, and also hire, right? So if we can hit all these different areas, we can be very successful in our practices. So today we're going to focus a lot on the market to hire aspect of it and what you can do in your practice for this. So yeah, we've all had that experience. We kind of feel like that. And what we're trying to do is we know that compensation is an important part of what we do, right, with our uh, PTs and everybody coming in. But we want to look for people that are not just money motivated. We want to make sure that we're looking for people that want to be part of something bigger. So let's talk about why we're having this recruiting issue. Like, why has this been going on? We know so much changed during COVID, but this was happening even before that. But this was from the APTA Supply and Demand Forecast, a study that was done by the APTA. And so if we look at what the impact has been here, we are currently in a shortfall, a big shortfall. If we look at this is from 2022, the shortfall of full-time equivalent PTs in the market was 12,000, right? Over 12,000 there. And if we look here, the projections by 2037, so in another 11 years from now, the projected shortfall is still going to be 9,000 full-time equivalents short of what the demand is in the marketplace. And I think this is very conservative. I think it's much more than that, actually. And the reason for that is that we're just the demand from the baby boomers and everything else is just growing and growing. And I mean, what a great opportunity for our industry that we're in an industry where we're in such high demand, right? And we just kind of look at the public. There's a lot of demand out there for the types of services that we can offer, but we're just not pumping enough students out. We're just not pumping enough there and people leaving the market. So that's the consideration, right? So we have to look at that in the hiring landscape today is that need for rehab professionals is growing faster than the supply. And it's because of that aging population and expanded care, which demand outpaces graduate rates. And we know that competition is fiercer in different markets around the US. Some cities, depending on how many schools they have and different aspects, it's not as competitive as other cities. So it depends on where you are in the US with that. And we got to realize too that we do have larger entities of corporate type clinics. And so they're able to compete on a national level versus just a local level. So we have to compete not just in our market, but also sometimes at a national level too. And if we look at the demand here for services, that's widely growing. And then we can look at all these different dotted line projections that just shows where we are in terms of, we look right now about 2026, just kind of that distance between where the demand is and the actual number of PTs in the workspace. So great information to know with that, just why we are here where we are. So what can we do about it, right? So recruiting has definitely changed. We know that staffing is one of the number one growth barriers for PT clinics today. And you got to realize that your job posts are competing in a very crowded, noisy online job board world, not just for you, but for like all kinds of industries. And it's a buyer's market. And as the practice owner, you're the seller. So what we're looking for as owners, though, is we're looking for choice. We don't want to just settle for that person who has a pulse and a license. We want to have choice, bring in the right person that matches our culture. And the thing that you have to think about is you have to stand out as a beacon in the noise and become the preferred practice to work for. And that's cultivated, that's worked on, that's intentional in what you do within your clinic and how you portray it. And marketing has a huge impact on that because your online reputation directly impacts your ability to hire. So let me rephrase that again. Your online reputation directly impacts your ability to hire. So it's something you really have to be concerned about, putting attention on, and working towards. So here's the caveat. And again, I'm looking at this from both a business standpoint as an owner. I'm also looking at this from a marketing standpoint, right? And strong public relations, PR, and marketing is gonna equal strong recruiting. So what are you doing right now for your marketing and your PR, not just for new patients, but how are you standing out in this community to attract top talent to come work for you? And so what works to bring in new patients can also be applied to attract top talent. And what the traditional thought is that recruitment is just an HR admin task. It's something I have to do when someone gives me their notice and it's a last minute scramble. I put, an ad up on Indeed. If I'm big enough, I might have an HR person or office manager that works on this for me. But it goes way beyond that. Recruitment is actually now a strategic marketing funnel, and we've got to treat it that way. So we have to attract, we have to engage prospects, we have to convert them, and we have to delight them. And we'll talk about this here. Here's an important stat to realize is that 73% of candidates are passive job seekers, meaning that they're not actively looking for a new job, right? They're semi-content on the sidelines, working somewhere currently, and they're thinking about possibly a change, but they're not really actively on Indeed or maybe doing other things just yet. So we have to have a way of reaching out to those. And it's going to happen at different times. So what we have to do is we have to work on building our talent pool, right? So big shout out to AI here for making some funny pictures for us. All right. So thinking about this, who is going to be your ideal candidate? Who's going to be your ideal PTOT speech person to come work for you? And it's really that person that's a semi-content at their current job, right? They're a rehab professional and they're open to new possibilities. They think they could do better. They're wondering like, maybe I'm a little upset here. Maybe it's just not what I thought it would be, and I'm looking for something else, right? Um, you're also looking for that person who really fits your core values and the vision of your clinic. And this is going to be different for different clinics, but you need to find that person who's going to be a great match for what you are internally. And you're looking for that person that wants to grow professionally and they're not just stagnant and trying to collect a paycheck. They're really someone who wants to get better themselves. And you're looking also for that high producer and has a history of getting things done. Ideally, in your practice, you have some sort of compensation bonus structure where they can get paid for performance. That's going to attract some really high talented people towards you. And then you're also looking for a person who wants to contribute to a team, not someone who's just kind of, again, coasting along and not looking for a whole lot to do. Also, in your ideal candidate, things to consider are that, as we mentioned before, your reputation really attracts the best talent. You have to really, again, market and promote your culture. What is all the great things that you're doing internally, all those fun activities and things you do as a team to keep people engaged? You got to promote that out there. And that really beats just job board listings any day. And so your brand presence really matters before that interview because people aren't going to even reach out to you if you aren't showcasing who you are because they have a lot of choice in today's market. And we have to realize that before someone even applies or calls you or whatever it may be, they are doing a full checkout on you before you even realize it, right? They're checking out your Google reviews. They're looking at your Indeed profile. They're looking at your Indeed reviews. They're looking at your careers page on your website. They're seeing what other people are saying about you. They're checking out your Instagram. They're looking at your Facebook pages, much more before they even reach out. So we have to build this online presence so we can speak to them even before they speak to us. So this first phase is all about discovering you, right? And we're going to have two different types of people. We're going to have the active people that are actively looking for a different job, and then the passive people, and what are some things that you could tap into that. So ideally, the active people we want to get in front of because they've got the most intent. They're looking for a new job. And these are the candidates that are looking for you. They're going to be doing Indeed searches. They're going to be doing Google searches. For example, like what's the best PT job near me? How can you get up in front of them there? We'll talk about that later. And they're also going to be using different job boards. They're looking on Indeed. They're looking on LinkedIn, different networking, maybe Ziprecruiter, lots of different types of job boards that are out there. And then they're also looking on Facebook groups, Instagram, TikTok, all these different social media platforms also. So they're doing their due diligence. They're looking around. Now you've got the other category of people, which is your passive job seekers, right? And then these candidates, we want them to discover you, right? They're not looking for you. They want you want to come across to them. Now, this might be through some passive job searches. They're kind of seeing what other PT clinics are in the area. So again, that's an opportunity to show up. But there's different networking and professional channels that you can be working with these people on. So there's going to be some of your new students as well as alumni, things like that, university career centers, clinical internships, state and national PT associations. How can you use CEU courses within your clinic to attract people? So you can do webinars online. It's a great way to introduce people to your clinic as well as in-person ones. We used to run a ton of in-person CEU courses that I would deliver in the clinic and bring people in. Sometimes we'd have 40, 50 PTs in our practice on a training day. And then I would actually have my therapists go around and let me know like who had good hands, right? And it could be a good fit for us. And then we'd offer them to come in for an interview after that. So you can do lots of things like that from a passive stage. And then also we have different things that we can leverage, such as online advertising with Facebook and Instagram ads. We can also do direct mail, postcards, letters. We can also do cold outbound emails with email lists that you could find online, text messaging. So there's a lot that you can do to be reaching out to get people to find out about you. So in our process here, we want to design for candidates. So we want to first focus on their journey, not your needs, right? Again, we're looking for that ideal person. And we want to show career growth paths. We want to also show that we have student development, mentorship programs. A lot of times you have these already in your clinic. You just haven't put them together well from a promotional standpoint. You haven't put them up very well on your website. You haven't put them together in marketing materials. And so you need to do that and then be able to promote those programs that you already have in the clinic. The other thing here is that you really want to emphasize purpose and lifestyle within your promotions and again in your website. And this really helps you show what you're all about. And again, you're trying to attract that top talent. So here's an example. This is Pacific Pro. They're in California. I think like a 14 location practice that we help market for. Here's their careers page. And as you see, as we go through it here, they've taken a lot of great pictures in their activities and things that they're doing within the clinic. And the wording here is really catchy, a career that inspires growth and balance. So that's something that's going to appeal to a lot of people. Gives the backstory, the history in here. Why should you come work with us? Looking for, again, growth, inspiration, impact, culture. You notice kind of the language that's being used in here. And then you're calling out who you're looking for, right? Here's my ideal therapist and people that we want to come work for us, right? So strong manual skills, passion for patient care, team collaboration. Call out the words that matter to you and your culture in your careers page here on your website. What I love about what they've done too, and I think this is a critical thing that you should be doing in your clinic, a lot of practices don't do enough of this, and that is gathering testimonials and reviews from your own staff. So there's links you can get on Indeed for the review section. Again, in conversations and one-on-ones with your staff, if they're really pumped up working for you, hey, would you mind we're trying to find people like you to come work with us. Would you mind please filling out this, Indeed review? You got that review now up on Indeed. You can repurpose that here into your website. There's a lot you can do with that. So just like you would have reviews for patients, you want to have reviews from your employees too. And then we'll get into this a little bit later, but this is actually their recruiting center within their careers page on their website. So that's just an example there of designing for a candidate. And again, I'm going to show you some more examples here as we look at other websites too and some of the components for that. So as these people have found you, they're starting to like check you out, right? They're trying to engage with you, consider you. The goal here is to really paint that story of what it's like working for you. Why is it going to be different than where they're working now? And the more successful you are at this and the language and your content and your visuals, the more you're going to capture them. You're going to excite them. They're going to see a change, a possibility in their future. They're going to evaluate your reviews online. They're going to evaluate your culture. They're going to look at your programs. What do you have to offer as far as professional growth and opportunities? And the thing that we often get into is that we think, I got to get someone now because someone's leaving in 2 weeks or whatever the situation is. And so we're often very reactive instead of proactive with our recruiting and marketing. So we need to always be recruiting in this marketplace because it is a higher probability that someone may leave you tomorrow. And then what are you going to do, right? So we want to be proactive in our promotion and our marketing and recruiting here so that we're constantly getting people who are interested to come work with us. And so recruiting is that long-term game. It does take time. You can't expect to hire an awesome person within 2 weeks of putting up an ad, right? It might take months and months to nurture someone. So that's the one thing there I want you to think about is being more proactive than reactive with this. All right, so as they're coming in here, they're in this decision stage. We want to make it easy for them to connect with us. How easy is it to apply through your website, for example, or through your Indeed post that you may have up there? I really like having phone numbers up on the website, having a dedicated office manager or even an HR person or right to you as an owner, someone calling in. Because I'd rather have someone calling in than they didn't feel like they wanted to fill out an application online, right? Or submit their resume. Get them to connect first. And then follow up, right? Engagement wins talent. It's just like your patients. If the front desk never calls them back, or doesn't call them back quickly, they're much more likely to not have that great feeling about you. So fast and personal response, text and email follow-ups, invite them to your social, start remarketing them with ads. There's all kinds of things you can do there. Um, and so the other part of it too is that in that employer public relations, that PR is the tiebreaker. When they're looking around at other companies and comparing you, what do you have that sets you apart? And we want to make sure also that we have, during this process of interviewing and engagement with you, do you have great marketing materials that you can give to the person as they come, that maybe even send to them before they come in for the interview, excite them, right? Or during the interview process, like in our practice, we had an awesome, really professionally done folder and packet with inserts, professionally done pictures and bios on the therapist. Like this is the stuff we would give out to every patient coming in so that they would have a good conversation with their spouse about the financial part of PT. But then we'd also use it in our interview process and go, wow, like these people look really professional. It's really nicely done. So you got to have different tangibles and things to give out in there. Here's another example here, Go Physical Therapy up in Nebraska area. And so if we kind of look through their site too, they have lots of calls to action. Of course, your apply now kind of things, but also looking at different career opportunities. Um, again, results, reviews from other therapists in here. What do they offer as far as benefits? That's all listed out. Talking about the culture, showing the culture. Like it's really, really important to portray this team atmosphere, right? And just this camaraderie, things that are going to go on. What's cool with this too is since they are a bigger clinic, they're like 20 locations, is they do a lot obviously with continuing education, mentorship. So calling that out and having specific pages on your website that talk about the ongoing education and what that's like, what the experience is like for the therapists as they're coming in, mentorship programs, what does that look like? What can you portray with that too? So again, we have opportunities to excite and interest people. If I have strong student internship relationships with different universities, you should definitely have a great internship page on your website to excite people as they're deciding different internships that they may want to go to. Wouldn't it be great that they're choosing you first and you want those top students to come see you? And then ideally that leads down the road to a nice job offer for a new grad.
The top 10% of PT owners aren't just surviving, they're thriving. But what's their secret? Well, Neil Trickett's new Market to Grow book reveals how the top 10% of PT practices leverage marketing systems to simultaneously grow their new patients, attract top talent, and boost profit in their practice. You can learn from their secrets. Visit practicepromotions.net/book to claim your free copy of Market to Grow. Yes, you heard that right. We are shipping a free copy of Market to Grow to all podcast listeners who want it. Just visit practicepromotions.net/book to claim your free book. And now back to the show.
All right, so let's get into some technical fun stuff here. We've been shown some aspects here of websites. And here's the thing I want you to think about. Most clinics just put up, maybe at best, a little careers page, right? And they put a few words, hey, apply now form, doesn't really excite me as a candidate. I want you to think about treating your website as a recruitment hub for your practice. And we'll look at that here in a little bit. But this is where we're going to funnel all kinds of people from different aspects. We're going to funnel them from Google Jobs. We're going to funnel them from Indeed in here, from LinkedIn here. We want to create this center within our website where all these candidates are going to flow to and they get this experience because we want to take them off these other job boards and control the narrative as they come in, that this helps us really paint who we are and why we're different. So again, thinking about building this recruitment hub within your website so that you can control the experience. And so what we do with practice is we help create that recruitment center within the website with multiple pages, as was just showing you there, like on Go PT, career page. We're going to have job postings within here, professional development, mentorship, lifestyle and area, which is really good for rural clinics. So if you're in a rural clinic, you need to attract people who are looking for that outdoor lifestyle for a lot of those type of clinics, right? So having a page about that is really good. And then we're going to send candidates from Indeed and LinkedIn to apply on your website, right? Ideally. And overall, this is going to build your employer brand and it's going to help you centralize applications. So if you're not big enough where you have an applicant tracking system, it's really good to do this through your website. So here's another example. This is Platinum PT, fantastic group, have grown quite successfully here up in the kind of Massachusetts area. And as you can see here, they're fantastic about really promoting their culture, what it's like to work there, the activities that they do as a group, their missions, all of this within their clinic, right? And so um, you can imagine if you're coming from Indeed and it's very text-based heavy and you've got all these other competitors on there, wouldn't it be nice if instead of them having staying within Indeed and doing everything to bring them here, right? So that you can really show them more about who you are. And there's a lot greater chance they're going to start poking all over your website. And there's a greater chance they're going to reach out to you. So within these websites here, the recruitment center, these pages are actually job posts. So this is what your job post will look like. And imagine how that looks compared to, again, a very text heavy thing on Indeed or LinkedIn. And so we can really get deep within the actual job posts and all that information. But we also have this opportunity to again, talk about our mission, our culture, what we're about, and showcase those things in here too. So this is the actual job post that is within the recruitment center on your website. So again, something you should really be working towards building that within your website. And that's what I was mentioning here. I'll show you here in a second that Google Jobs posts that we'll see pop up here in a second, as well as your Indeed or LinkedIn ones, you can flow them directly to the job post itself, that particular page I was just showing you, for example, because that's going to be the experience for a lot of people. They're going to come directly to that job post. And then you want to have links and everything so they come back to other aspects of the careers, mentorships, all those other pages that you may have on your website. Now, the technique here is really just make it engaging. It's not a transactional thing. We're not like, here's my salary, here's my benefits. No, it's like, this is your opportunity to really be engaging with the people that are visiting it. And the candidate should feel your mission, values, and culture. Of course, you're going to have listed up there the benefits, the growth opportunities, the things that you offer, right? But as you've seen, we want to have lots of pictures telling the story of working in your clinic and the team feeling that camaraderie with you. You want to showcase those testimonials and reviews from other employees. So as we look here, Elliott PT, again, up in the Massachusetts area, phenomenal clinic. We've had the blessing of working with them from a startup. Now they're like a 10 location clinic. Just a fantastic group of people. But you can see here, they're really promoting their values, their core values, their mission on here. They're showing what it's like to work with them in their clinic and what they stand for. And that's what you need to be representing on your website. Okay, so let's talk here about Google for Jobs. So not people use it, but a lot of us in practice are not aware of what Google for Jobs is and how people interact with it on a day-to-day basis. So, but here's the thing is that Google actually aggregates job posts from everywhere, from Indeed, LinkedIn. They all use Google for Jobs as a job board. And there's like hundreds of job boards out there, but Google aggregates all these and makes it, listing, and they obviously, just like SEO, they're going to rank the top ones at the top. So the cool thing with this is you can actually get your job posts listed for no cost, pretty much up on here, right? And it gives you free exposure for those search terms when people are searching for one of the most common ones is physical therapy jobs near me or physical therapist jobs near me. So you want to be able to show up for these things, right? And it just makes it easier to compete with the big players. So if I look here, if I'm on Google and I type anything with jobs or careers, it's gonna usually default to Google Jobs. So if I type in physical therapy, Maynard, Mass, it's gonna show me the clinics in that area, right? You're gonna see the map, the reviews, all that kind of stuff, right? The job ads, sorry, not the job ads, the Google ads, things like that. But if I type in physical therapy jobs or physical therapist jobs in Maynard, Mass, and if I'm in Maynard, Mass, and I type near me, it's going to pull up this kind of search results. It's going to pull up more of the jobs postings. So if I look here, Google's pulling in all these different job postings here from all different sources. And so this one's for Monument Health, this one's for Platinum PT, Monument Health. But if I look down where they're coming from, this one's actually from the website via Monument. This one's actually from Platinum PT as a website. This one here is from Ziprecruiter. This one's here from American Medical Staffing. This is from Wada Jobs. And you get it, um, we'll see if there's one on here. Sometimes they're up here for Indeed or LinkedIn, but you get the gist here. There's all these different job postings that are coming up here from different job boards. So what's cool is that that job post I was just showing you on Platinum PT's website is number 2 here, right? So often the top 3 is going to be the most clicked on job posts here. And what's great is if I click on this, it's going to bring all that information in from the website for the candidate here. They're going to see it, and they're also going to have links. So I could apply directly on the website, or I can apply on job leads or job boards or all these other job posts that may be up on. And what's great on this is we can add our, salary range in here, full-time, benefits that you offer, all those kind of things in here. So it takes some setup within the website and the recruiting job posts, be SEO optimized, but it's really cool that you can bring this in and again have visibility now on Google as that job being one of the premier things. So that's Google for Jobs. And as I've shown you here, if it comes up in the jobs format here, or if it comes up in like the all format here, you're gonna see that job post listing in both sections, right? So that again is the power of having a recruitment center within your website. So again, here we see Elliott PT up there in Massachusetts, this post here from their website, pulling all that data in, and again, able to be at the top of those Google searches there for physical therapy jobs near me. Now, well, we also have the rise of AI search, and the benefit of doing a website recruitment center is that you can also now pull up in ChatGPT and Claude on these other AI searches. So if we look at that, for example, if I am doing the same or similar kind of search, physical therapy jobs in Maynard, Mass, in my ChatGPT here, look what's pulling up. Here's that job post again, right here at the top, and the link right to that job post on the website. Boom, I am controlling the conversation. I'm controlling the discovery into my clinic, and it just gives me more opportunities to have, be in front of different therapy searches out there. So why does this all matter? Well, having job posts on your website that are optimized allows you to tap into Google for Jobs as well as those ChatGPT searches, and you can have additional rankings to traditional job boards at little to no cost. So you don't want to stop what you're doing traditionally with LinkedIn or Indeed, but how can you add to it, right? And doing this really adds to those extra things. And the thing that you got to think about is it's a very saturated market. There's a lot of opportunities for PTs out there. I've got to have as many fishing lines in the water as possible, right? So this is one of the things that you can do to have more fishing lines in the water. All right, so as you put these job posts up there, it takes a little bit of the know-how of SEO to make these rank the way that they do, and that's what we do for our clients. And again, if you're one of our clients on this call and you're not taking advantage of this, go ahead and take advantage of it. Reach out to your customer success manager. We can do a glow up of your careers page on your website, and we can put that recruitment center, our market to hire program within your website there. So definitely reach out to your customer success manager. All right, so some of the things you want here to get discovered on those pages are to make sure that your titling is for the physical therapist job in whatever town that's going to be in. Location or state keyword in the title is really important. You have to put the location and the salary. Yeah, sometimes we don't want to put the salary up there, but let me tell you, when you put salary range in there for Indeed, for LinkedIn, and for Google for Jobs, it just helps you be found more. So don't be shy, put it up there. It's okay to pay people enough. You just got to help them have you make more money for you, right? And we want to have clear, engaging descriptions. Start with telling, the opportunity, the ideal character that you're looking for. Make them the hero of the story. Don't make it just about you. No one wants that. You got to, again, paint the picture of how they are going to transform and improve by coming to work for you. All right, a little bit here, technical stuff. From an SEO side, there's things called schema. That just makes it more Google friendly in terms of search terms. And that's done by creating different sections on the page And of course, as I said before, you'll list the salaries on that back end of WordPress. So again, it is pulling up like this, right? That's the kind of stuff we want to have these sections built within our page so it pulls in appropriately, match them all up. So again, just a little bit of technical stuff there, but you can see what's capable. That's going to help make those listings crawlable to Google. And again, this is something that you run your clinic. You don't have time for this stuff. Work with somebody to help you, right? Ideally, work with us, but there's other people that out there can help you. But make sure that you're getting help with this and not spending hours trying to figure it all out. Like it's just waste of your time, right? The other thing here too is that if you're bigger and you're using an applicant tracking system, uh, you can actually tie in these APIs to coordinate that. So, for example, um, yeah, I don't know if I have it on here, but here's a clinic base date, and this if I click on these, it actually goes then this form that will be filled out on the website goes into their applicant tracking system, so you can mirror the information that comes in from the website into your applicant tracking system. It makes it seamless. And for those of you that don't know what an applicant tracking system is, it's basically a software on the back end that really helps when you have a large volume of recruiting to keep things organized. So you got automated ways of people applying, moving them through different interview processes. So bigger clinics tend to have applicant tracking systems. And then again, you can marry what you're doing within your website to those applicant tracking systems. Okay, so we've worked on setting up a recruitment center within our website. We have job posts going through our website. We're directing people to it from Google, from Indeed, from LinkedIn. But we want to have a greater exposure. We have to realize that Google will only show us to a certain radius around our clinic. So we have to do online advertising to reach a broader area. And that's why it's really, really important whether you're looking to get new patients or you're looking to get staff. In today's world, you have to be doing Google advertising. It's not a if I should do this, it's you must be doing this, right? Because the way that search works is it's very limited in how far you might only be shown like 5 miles at the most, maybe sometimes 10, depending on if you're in a rural area. But if you want to go beyond that, if you want to pick people from certain parts of town, or in this case, because you don't have a big pool of therapists right around you, unless you're in a very, very dense city, you have to be able to go by your counties or even by your state. So having Google Ads allows you to reach those people. And as I mentioned here, city, state, regions, you can target certain zip codes, certain regions. You can even go up multiple states or whatever you need to do there to get your advertisements out in front of people. And the thing is, you can also be geo-selective. So if you know there's like certain universities, you could have your ads show up around those universities that have PT programs, hospital systems, other states. There's a lot that you can do with good targeted ads there. The thing when you're doing the ads though is you want to make it short and sweet. You want to get to the point. You want to focus on outcomes and lifestyle. And we want to have what's called a schema markup here, where we can split things out and have multiple calls to action. We want to have emotional pull in here, so that's going to help us attract stronger candidates. And I think it's this one. Let me just see. Yep. So we look here again for L8PT. Here's their ad. So we can see here, if I'm again looking for, in this case, physical therapist assistant jobs in this area, I'm going to get the different ads below it, but I can command the top here because I'm paying for it, right? And that's what Google Ads allows you to do. Here's the schema markup where we split it out so you can have different, hey, check out the positions we have open, meet our team, and all these different things that we can have in here. So that's why setting up the ads properly, you can have careers, job campaigns going as well as your regular new patient campaigns going. We've done a ton of that for clients. And again, it's super helpful and just having a broader reach to attract more people into you. All right, so let's talk here a little bit about social media. So we want to leverage social media too, in addition to our other sources. So again, just think more fishing lines in the water. How are people interacting? People seeing us? How can we get things shared? And so when you use those key social channels like Facebook and Instagram, if you want to dabble in TikTok, fine. I would just say keep it to Instagram. First, get comfortable with that. If you're really good and into this stuff, then go for TikTok, right? But yeah, go where you're going to have the most effectiveness there. Also, LinkedIn organic posts are great. to share. I would suggest as you're doing social posts here that you showcase your current team. You're going to promote them. You're going to talk about how awesome they are, the opportunities of growth that they've had, make highlights about them, videos of what the fun that you're having of it, of like in the clinic. Then you can have specific job position posts, create the links on those posts back to your job post within your recruitment center on your website. Google really likes that from an SEO perspective. Again, keeps things pretty seamless. You can promote these posts that you have on your social out with meta ads too, some discovery type advertising there, so you can have a broader reach with that too. And then you can social search optimization for this, the SSO. So using the right hashtags, location type hashtag, job type hashtags, those kind of things too. Right, so there's a lot that you can do from a social perspective. All right, so other possibilities here to think about, right? We've talked a lot about obviously websites, Google, LinkedIn, Indeed, social, but there are other things you can do too, because remember that 73% of candidates are passive job seekers, right? So they're not actively looking for something, but they may consider a different job, right? So we want to keep building our pipeline. So ABR, always be recruiting. Never stop, right? Even if you're full, you're busy, I don't have any more space in my clinic. One day you're going to want that next location. One day you're thinking about building a different size clinic. You're going to need to be recruiting. It's great to have people waiting in the wings like, hey, I don't have something today, but I know you really want to come work with us. Would you be open to something if I circle back with you in 3 months, 6 months, a year? See where you're at that point. As I talked about before, doing a workshop series for CEUs is fantastic. It doesn't take that much work, just a little bit of paperwork with the state to get your number. But then you can run CEUs ideally online, so you can have a broad reach. You can invite people from, further away in your state or even out of state to participate. So again, gives you exposure. You could have an online discovery day type webinar. Hey, see what our programs are like. Learn about our mentorship program. Learn about our growth programs. Blah blah blah. It's a very low friction way for people to learn about your clinic without applying to come work there. Right. So online discovery day is a great thing that you can do. The goal here overall with these different things is to make that barrier low to connecting with your practice. It doesn't have to be a formal application. It's like, hey, come check us out. Come see how we can help you. Want to learn about us? Hey, you want some CEUs? Like we're building our pipeline of candidates that we can communicate with. And then, of course, we want to have email and text follow-up campaigns to invite them to future workshops, different events that we're having. We can give new hire announcements to them because when you're a candidate or you're thinking about a place and you see that they're hiring and hiring, you're like, wow, these people are growing. My interest level just went up. And so there's a lot that you can do there too. All right, so we talked a lot here about different things, but bringing it all together, we just have to realize that there is that ultra competitive hiring environment, and it's going to be here for a decade to come. It's not going to change. So we have to be more purposeful in our marketing and our hiring for talent. And we want to turn our thoughts of recruiting into more of that marketing approach. And we want to make it that candidate-centric approach and really leverage our website as that hub of our recruiting actions. And then we can run job posts through our website from ads, Google for Jobs, Indeed, LinkedIn, all these other job boards can be flowing here as our main way of getting people interested in our clinic. And then, of course, we can leverage and optimize for Google for Jobs. And then we can use Google Ads to supercharge job reach there, as well as Facebook ads, Instagram ads, if we're doing social posting for that too. So case study here, this was Elliott PT. They were one of our pioneers here on this program as we worked on it together. When was that? 2024, summer of 24. During that time, within about a 2 to 3 month period, they reported much higher quality candidates. So obviously they were doing other things too with Indeed and all this other stuff. It was getting okay, but they needed more. And so we built that recruitment center for them within their website. We figured out how to really leverage Google for Jobs. And within that time of all their other stuff plus ours, they had 11 hires within 2 months. 6 of those specifically were directly through the website. So it just shows you that by doing this, you can have great outcomes for that. And they hired both professional and office managers from that too. All right, so here's some free resources for you. We do have this strategy of market to hire. It's within our market to grow book, and also our new kit that we have. So you haven't had our kit before. It's brand new. It's coming out. You can get that right at practicepromotions.net. It's a free kit. We'll ship it out to you for free. You just sign up for that. We'll also probably have a link for you here somewhere. Also, we have a school channel. So go to school.com and market to grow. I've got tons of free training. I also do more in-depth training on market to hire in here. So it's free. Get in there, watch the videos. You get a lot of ideas out of it. And then if you are looking to take your practice to new heights, then I invite you to come check us out, talk to us. You can schedule a free marketing strategy call with one of our marketing consultants, and also demo our industry-leading PT marketing systems for patients and recruiting. And then you'll discover a plan that really works to achieve your practice growth goals. We'll work on that together and see what's going to be working towards what your practice wants to achieve. Very easy on our website. Just claim your strategy call, be able to book that directly and get that discovery call and demo. On the call, you're going to get that marketing evaluation and competitor rundown. So we'll do some analysis for you there. Look at your SEO, look at your competitors, where you stand out online. And then you'll also discover your biggest growth blockers and opportunities. We'll work with getting a custom marketing blueprint for you. And then you can discover our approach to getting more new patients, profit, and staff for you and how that works. Just some example here of clients that have worked with us. So again, you can see here Pro Clinics, a clinic in upstate New York. Fantastic growth here in new patients, pretty much tripling their new patients over the last 4 years with us there. So as we again look at overall of what 2026 can hold, should be your year of change, what you can do to level up your clinic. What we can do is we can help you have more consistency in new patients. We can give you more clarity on what is working for your marketing. And so, of course, when you know it's working, you can do more of it. And with our systems, our processes, we can help you lower your patient acquisition costs. So your marketing dollar goes way further. If you have multi-locations, that's one of our specialties. We can definitely help you lift underperforming locations, and we can help you gain more patient retention, referrals, and reactivations, and of course, help you attract top talent easier. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and book that strategy call. Again, thank you for being on the call with me here today. Our purpose and our passion is really to help practice owners level up their marketing so they can succeed in improving more people's lives. That's always been my mission here. And wishing you much success for 2026 in your recruiting, hiring, and your practice.
A free way for you to support our show is by leaving a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It's a chance for you to tell us what you love about the show, and it helps others discover it as well. Just scroll down to ratings and review on your phone and click write a review. Thanks.